A good Erev Shabbos, Parshas Vayikra. Firstly, I want to thank all those who send feedback. It's much appreciated, and it's nice to hear from you. Last week in the Parsha, there was a pasuk that says, "V'lo yachol Moshe lavo el moed." And I was thinking how it's speaking about each and every one of us, similar to Moshe Rabbeinu, Lahavdil. We're not able to go to the shuls this Shabbos. We're all at home, confined. What's going on here? And I was thinking that from Parshas Vayikra, where Hashem calls out to us, what is the message we're supposed to be hearing and what are we listening to? So I wanted to share with you some thoughts that I had relative to things that Rashi says in this week's Parsha. First of all, on Vayikra el Moshe, it says, L'chol dibros, l'chol amiros, l'chol tzvuyim kadma kriya. That in every instance, there was always a calling out prior to every statement, every command. That the Rebbeinu Shalom calls out to Moshe. That's with the Yidden. But then it says, but the Nevi'im of the Umas Ha'olam, with the prophets of the nations of the world, Nigla aleim b'loshen aroi v'tuma. Hashem doesn't call out to them in advance. So there's a clear, definitive message that Rashi is conveying that the Rebbeinu Shalom calls out to Moshe, calls out to Klal Yisrael and to Ar Nevi'im prior to speaking to them, but to the Umas Ha'olam, they don't get called out. Why don't they receive a calling out before? And I think that the answer is because maybe they're not listening. We understand that there's an Eis Sarah to the Welt, to the world today, and clearly an Eis Sarah to Yaakov. But we, as Klal Yisrael, have to be listening. What are the messages? What is the Rebbeinu Shalom telling us? What does the Rebbeinu Shalom want from us? And the next Rashi says, Vayikra el Moshe, and it speaks about that there are hafsakis in the Kriya. But Rashi says something fascinating. Uma haya hafsakos mashmois. What was the purpose of these breaks? What do they serve? Litain Revach leMoshe lizboinin, to give Moshe an interval of time for contemplation. And then Rashi instructs us, and he says, Kal v'chomer lehedyet haloymid min hahedyet. So all the more so that the time is given for contemplation between hedyotim, for an ordinary person who learns from an ordinary person. What does that contemplation mean? Perhaps it means that we're so busy with our lives, and we're so much in a connected world, and from one WhatsApp to the next WhatsApp, to the next news piece, to the next stock quote, whatever it is, we're so busy that we're not contemplating the important things that are going on in our own lives. And then I think we can learn further. What are the important things? What is it that we're supposed to hear, and where are we supposed to hear these messages from? And it tells us further on in Rashi, in the Rashi of Elov, it says, Moshe Shama v'chol Yisrael lo Shama. Moshe Rabbeinu would hear, and all of Klal Yisrael wouldn't hear. Now, why would that be? Could it be because Moshe Rabbeinu was holding on such a high level where he was waiting constantly to hear from the Rebbeinu Shalom? He wasn't engrossed and involved in the mundane. He was awaiting constantly the Dvar Hashem. And what's most interesting is Rashi says, Me'oil moed melamed shaheh hakol nifsak v'lo haya yotzei chutz la'oil. So this teaches us that the sound of the voice would be cut off and would not go outside the tent. Yachom ipnei sha'kol namuch. You might think that because the sound was very low, it couldn't be heard outside the tent. Talmud Leimar, and this is like we're going to say tonight in the davening, Es hakol, ma'u hakol, kol Hashem b'koyach, Kol Hashem Bahadar, Kol Hashem Shavar Azim. The voice of Hashem is powerful. It's majestic. It can literally break cedars. So it's not that the voice was low. The voice was a very loud voice. But the voice was only heard where? Only inside the Oil Moed. Why is that? And I think that the answer, and what this will close, is in the next Rashi. Me Oil Moed Lemor. Yochel Mikol Abayis. One might think that the voice comes from the entire house, and Rashi ends by saying that it came from where? Talmud Leimar, Mibein Shnei Kruvim Me'al Kaparis. The voice was coming between the two Kruvim. What do the two Kruvim symbolize? It's a machlokes. Either the two Kruvim were the faces of two children, or it was the face of a man and a woman, a husband and wife. And I think that the message is that in our homes, are we really in touch with our wives? Are our wives really in touch with us? Are we really in touch with our children? Are our children really in touch with their parents? Today we live in this connected world. A dinner table is not a dinner table. A hello is a hello. A goodbye is a goodbye. But everybody's so busy on this treadmill of life, running, chasing, following, media, all the social applications. Even Talmidei Chachamim, they're engrossed in their Sfarim. They got to run from this Seder to that Seder. But Rabbi Isai, I believe that this Shabbos, when we're all in our own homes, the message of the Rabbeinu Shalom Vayikra, the message of this week's parsha is Vayikra al Moshe. Only Moshe heard the calling of Hashem because he was listening. He was in tune to hear the voice of the Rabbeinu Shalom. We too, this is time for us to tune in. We need to shut down all that's going on outside of us and to pay attention mibein hakruvim, whether it's to the children or to the parents or to the husbands and the wives. We need to hearken and hear the voice. We need to focus inward, inside our oil moed, inside our homes. And we need to start to give that imperative attention to our families. Because the interpersonal relationships, the Bein Adam L'Chaveroi, these messages of Bein Adam L'Chaveroi, I think is where the Rebbeinu Shalom wants us to strengthen ourselves now to prepare ourselves for Mashiach Tzidkenu. Because as we all know, we can beg and receive Mechila from the Rebbeinu Shalom. But in order for us to have Mechila Bein Adam L'Chaveroi, it's only if we ask. May we all reach out and ask and develop and strengthen our interpersonal relationships and ask those Mechila who we need to request Mechila from and hear the sounds, hear the footsteps of Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mehera b'yameinu. Have a wonderful Shabbos.